amazing friends. I'm with global networking superstar Terilee Harrison. How are you today, Terilee?
Oh, I'm so fantastic, Ed. Ready to start my day with my caffeine and ready to chat with you and your followers. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm just so what. Now, firstly, you're in Singapore. I understand it's 7:01 a.m. for you right now. Is that correct over there?
You are so correct. You are so correct. I don't get on screen looking this good, if you will, for just anybody, Ed.
Well, for us in Sydney, I've lost a bit of weight lately. Our lockdown's ending next week, and
Woo!
so we're all basically eating one meal a day, slimming down for lockdown. So it's like the start of summer. So I've been slimming down, getting my glow back, ready to attack the world again when lockdown ends.
It's awesome. That is awesome.
Now, Terilee, you're a global networking superstar. You're a networking coach and mentor. You've given me a lot of tips and education. Look, I just love to ask you. I mean, networking's changed a lot in terms of COVID, the pandemic, and all that. How has networking changed, and what's been your experiences over the past year or two?
I remember we chatted maybe I want to say like May of 2020, and we were just going into the online networking and COVID and all the things, right? Was that possible? That seems like a long time ago. But anyway, yes,
everything. About 30 years ago. It feels like 30 years ago psychologically.
It does feel like 30 years ago psychologically. Everything has changed. The thing is, Ed, it's not that online networking wasn't available before, because it was, right? But COVID, I think back to March 2020, when everyone had to go online and take a peek, right? All of a sudden, people they had to take a look. They were more willing to take a look. And so now in our networking, we have the opportunity, we're starting to have the opportunity, especially like as you end your lockdown, right? To do more of the amazing face-to-face meetings that you do in Australia, right? And then all over the world, same thing. So people will have more options now than they've ever had before. But for those who are ready to embrace national business, global business, and they're ready to build those relationships, now there's so many opportunities. But the one thing we have to do is we have to manage our time. So I was chatting with a gentleman from East Coast US yesterday, and he was sharing with me, he goes, now that I'm going back to face-to-face meetings, it's balancing my time. He goes, because now instead of like I talk about my commute across my hallway here to my office, right? And you probably have the same, different hallway, right? But he said,
I'm actually sitting on my bed right now. So I've got,
see?
There you go. So I slept about there. So there you go. I slept about just right there.
Yeah, no one knows. You have your fancy professional thing behind you. No one knows unless you tell them.
No one finds out I'm doing Zooms on my bed. Webinars on my bed. Hopefully no one finds out.
Too late. But what he said was it took him 4 hours to go to a meeting. He got in his car, he drove, he went to the thing, and
nuts.
So now he's like, So I think there's a lot of people thinking about that now. And for some people, they need face-to-face. But I think that some people will be able to do a hybrid. So yes, networking has totally changed. And for those that are ready to continue to build on, some people probably popped online while they needed to and are ready to go back to networking in their city.
Yeah. Now, it's funny you say that, because I've had a lot of people come back to me lately and say two things. I've heard two messages. I'm sure you heard the same things. There's a group of people that prefer online and hate face-to-face. And there's a group of people that are the opposite. So you have the thesis and the antithesis, right? Mm-hmm. And you know me, I don't think in ors, I think in ands, right? And I think we're spot on. Like for us especially, again, we're based in Australia and all that. For us, absolutely, we're doing online networking events forever, because that's what people want globally. And we're doing the face-to-faces. So I think the answer is both. I think you need both. What's your views on that one, and what's your take on that sort of thinking now, Terilee?
I do think that it is good to do both. For those who have borderless boundary businesses where they never need to meet a client face-to-face, they might want to consider more online than being in their city. But if you can, and if you're interested, there is going to be people who want to pour into their community. I think you're one of them. You like to be with the businesses where you are, right? And to give back in your community, be known in your community. And so there's nothing, I think it can totally be the and for those that want it. And then there will be those, I'm speaking in another couple hours to like a photographer in Southern California. Hello, she's got to be local. She's got to be in her community. She can't do it. So I think for those who can, the and is important. I believe giving back where we live is huge.
It's funny you say that, actually. And to our fans watching, thank you for that like. We've got a few people watching. So if you are watching, big thank you. Please say hello, like, share, and comment. I should be able to pick up your comments on stream. And if you're watching the recording, make sure you connect with Terilee. And it's interesting, actually, because right now we're doing this live. It's Thursday, the 7th of October, 2021. And interestingly, just a few days ago, we announced our first face-to-face meetup. We're meeting up Friday, the 22nd of October in Sydney, in a beautiful place called Barangaroo. It's like the business waterside part of Sydney. Mm-hmm. And it's weird. You're going to laugh at this. I actually feel a bit nervous because I've not run a face-to-face event in forever. I'm sort of like, what do I do again? Is it like
it's like riding a bicycle. It's like riding a bicycle. You're going to be so pleased when you get there. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I know. Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm setting the intention publicly in front of all of our followers that when we can, I'm absolutely coming to Sydney and Melbourne for a visit and meeting all the awesome business owners. So y'all better be careful because one day I'm showing up.
Well, I was just going to say on that note, actually, and I'm pretty close to this topic. I don't see, because you're Singapore, right? And Singapore and Australia are very tight, right? Very tight.
And we're neighbors. We're only like, what is it, an 8-hour flight? We're neighbors.
Yeah. But we're tight though. Like Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan. Bit of controversy there. We're all really tight, right? Bit of controversy there. We're all very tight with those countries. And interestingly, I didn't see any problems you coming out in February. Like, because February, March, the weather's pretty good in Sydney. Probably March, in all honesty. Probably March. I don't see any problem. I think it'll be very doable for you. Marchish.
Well, let's set that intention. And the cool part is my other intention is to get to the States. And so I would be there like in January. So yeah, I'll come back to Singapore in February and head down under in March. I'm ready.
Host a meetup in your honor. We'll make you the guest speaker.
You see, it's about the intention, everyone, and it's about asking, just putting it out there. The one thing you mentioned, the if, do you prefer online? Do you prefer face-to-face or the and, right? The thing about and is like, it's my intention as we begin to open up in the world, and that's a whole other live I don't even want to talk about what's happening in Singapore or Australia and all the things, right? But I think it's important that when we can, like when I do travel to the US, that I have a retreat somewhere and offer people a chance to come in or a networking event, right? Yeah. Have something that people can come into and meet face to face. Nothing I love more than seeing my members from my global community who, when they do get together, people from other states in the US will get together. They post pictures of themselves having their coffee, having their lunch, and it's fabulous when we can meet in person and do the things, right? But let's face it, there will be some people that we meet that we love as friends, that are our business colleagues, our referral partners. We may never meet them face to face. Not everyone's going to call out an intention to go to Sydney next March.
Exactly. It's funny, actually, because as you know, part of what I do is I help run Meetup across Australia. I do some more in the Meetup stream of things, so to speak, not so much the more referral-based networking you do, which is awesome. And interesting, so it's a lot more social. The type of networking events I do are much more social in nature. And interestingly, and I love telling this funny story, before our lockdowns hit, our meetups were getting so crazy, right? So crazy is you'd wake up in the morning and I get messages from people out on the town drinking, people hooking up. It started taking this real sin and debauchery turn. And funny, and I'm protecting identities here, but some time back, I had two people I know really well both reach out to me saying that they've entered a secret gay relationship. And I was like, this is awesome. So like... And I said to one of them
from your meetup. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I said to one of them who I know, I've known for years, I know them really well. And I said, so am I the ultimate networker now? And they said, yeah, Ed, you've helped me enter my first gay relationship. You run the best meetups in town. So I was really proud of that. There you go.
Well, we have to have our claims to fame. We have to have them. Yes. We all want to help people reach their goals and dreams. We all want to help people reach their goals and dreams, right?
I should put that on my LinkedIn profile. I help people enter gay relationships. That'll be good, actually. I should do that.
That you like a little bit of controversy, and that would definitely get some attention.
Totally. So no, that's really good. So so just to understand, so you're in Singapore right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And you're heading back to you're in between the States and Singapore, aren't you? That's the sort of your itinerary as things open up. Is that correct? Am I reading that correctly?
You are so reading it correctly. Yes. I and when we're able to, I would love to travel and meet UK friends too. But I am an American in Singapore for 4.5 years, and I do have lots of my family's all back in the US. I haven't seen them for 2 years, and as so many people in the world, right? And then I have clients and business members of my referral organization back in Southern California and all over the US. So yes, sneaking back to the US is normally in normal times a 2 to 3 time a year thing for me. Yes. So I've been, as everyone else has, I've been cooped up, guys, and I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you going to do much stuff? I've always asked this question. I want to ask the public. Are you going to do much networking or stuff in Singapore? Like, what are your thoughts of actually?
Do you know what? Interestingly enough, maybe not.
Okay.
I hate to say that publicly. Maybe not.
Not for you?
You know, the one thing is right now, I don't know when we'll open up. Right now, we're meeting in like groups of 2. I don't know. Okay. We're 80% vaccinated. Yes. And then let's just. Okay, I love Singapore. I love Singaporeans, but do you see? I was chatting with a Singaporean business owner over the last couple months, and he's told me that in his online networking, he doesn't see a lot of Singaporeans. Do you see a lot of Singaporeans in your online networking, Ed?
No.
No, I think they like to network here. And because my because my focus is
Malaysians, but not Singaporeans.
Yes, and so I lovingly say that because my focus is global, that yes, if they're not online doing the things, then no. Yeah. And so I have great respect and love my Singaporean friends, but probably not, which is a disappointment to some, because if I was building a large contingency here, y'all would love to come and speak here, but instead, right? Who doesn't want to come to Singapore and speak to the businesses?
Yeah, I've never been to Singapore, but I imagine if you did stuff in Singapore, it would probably be the expat community in Singapore. It'd be like Dubai, you'd be targeting the expat community. Is that
pretty much?
Am I reading it correctly?
I think to be fair, that would be the case. I think that would be the case. Yes.
Yeah. I have a lot of people from Dubai in our community, but they're expats. They're not as in Emiratis. They're just people from America, just expats in Dubai in our community.
Correct. I think it would be that. So please, anyone, I have nothing but great respect for Singapore, but no, I just don't think that it's a fit with my goals for growing like globally. Mm-hmm.
I understand. And if any Singaporeans watching, come to our events and prove us wrong. That's all I can say.
Yes, we would love to see you. Show up at our things. Yes.
Prove Edward Zia wrong. Come and prove us all wrong. That's my challenge.
Yes, we will welcome you wholeheartedly. We'll be like, yes, they're here.
Yeah,
yes, we will.
Wrong. We want to be wrong.
Red carpet for you. Mm-hmm.
Now, so I was going to say, Terilee, now you raised an interesting point before, and I've actually been, if I can be honest with you and everyone, I've actually been having this, I've been doing a real big shake up in our business. Our business has grown a lot. Thank you for supporting us. And we've reached that point where, you know how you reach a point in your business and it tapers, and then you got to shake up things and you grow again?
Uh-huh.
We just shook up things and we're growing again. So did this. Really went static. Now I did a shake up and it's growing again, as you do, right? And interestingly, I've got the same problem that you have. It's sort of like you can't talk to everyone, right? You got to know who to pick up the phone to, and you got to know who not to, right?
Yep.
And it's a big challenge. What's your advice? I mean, you're a top networking coach. You know more about this topic than I do, and I love your knowledge on this. How do you sort of prioritize who to go after and who not to? It's something I've spent a lot of personal time anguishing over. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I have some thoughts for you and the people. Okay. So number one, obviously, if someone expresses an interest in your service, like they full on, then hello. Okay. They're the first ones, right? Number two, one of the most powerful concepts that I teach in networking is about power partners, the people who share your clients, and it's not competition. And so it's really super important to spend 80% plus of your networking time with these people, attempting to build these relationships where you can easily be ultimately synergistically referring business back and forth, right? So I liken it to, if I'm in relationship marketing, networking, I'm helping people grow their business, other people who help people grow their business, maybe other people in different fields of marketing, that it's not the same thing. Maybe even other people in networking coaching. I know some people that are focused on follow-up, and I don't necessarily focus on follow-up. And so look at, if I offer this introductory, this is how you communicate about what you do, this is how you do, how you show up at meetings, who you're looking for, how to do your pitch, and someone else does follow-up, we can be easily referring clients back and forth, right? And so building those relationships, taking them along a dating process, if you will, Ed, of, hey, I meet you once, do we have synergy? Do I like what you do? Is there any chance we might do something together? Do we want to possibly further commit, moving into that second conversation, maybe inviting someone to come and see your event? You go to their workshop, you continue to get to know each other, and then you can begin trusting, collaborating. So it's building those power partner relationships. When we have the right 5 to 10 amazing people that are all, we're synergistically referring, Facebook ads, and they're super important, okay? But they become less needed. Just relationships are everything. Do you agree?
Well, it's funny how you bring up Facebook ads. If I can do a slight yet relevant arc, and don't worry, I'm bookmarking everything you're saying. There's a few things I want to react to.
Yes.
I can't say too much because for two reasons. A, I get a lot of intel behind the scenes, so I don't want to give away any sources, and B, it is alive. But it's interesting is I had a few people tell me prior that Facebook was going down, right? I didn't believe them.
They told you?
Yeah, so I had a few friends, very good friends, by the way, tell me that Facebook's going down. I'm like, nah, whatever. And then I just wrote them off as conspiracy nuts. Then it went down. It's like, oh God. Now, interestingly, I got to be careful what I say here, but what's interesting is that Facebook is going to be is changing a lot right now. And they have to, because interestingly, a lot of people are turning off their Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So Facebook's big problem they've got now, and I couldn't agree with you more, Facebook is losing advertisers left hand over fist, and that shutdown they had the other day, they could probably they would have lost so much money over that. So imagine a lot of people would have done this, right? They would have said, Facebook ads aren't for me. I can't trust this platform. Facebook ads aren't for me. So it's funny. You're not the only one who's speaking darkly on Facebook ads.
Oh, and it's not that I'm like a huge enemy of Facebook ads, but because I do believe certain marketing has its place alongside, right? Even the social media. Hey, who other than you knows the power of social media? Becoming an influencer, right? And the power that can have in your business, right? All these things work together. Yeah. But when you can synergistically be referring people back and forth, oh my gosh, it's just, the party's over.
Yeah. And that's why I love your message, because I'm not like, I love LinkedIn and Facebook ads. I especially love LinkedIn. I personally don't do ads, right? So I don't do ads myself, and I don't know much about them. If someone said, I've had people ask me, can you help me with LinkedIn ads? No, I just refer it. It's not my skill set. I'm an organic influencer. But interestingly, that's why I love what you're about, because the moment you have those relationships, you take off organically. You don't need to be as reliant on, paid advertising. And I think that's because I know so many businesses that, and they tell me this is their problem. We've got clients in our community saying, Ed, I'm addicted to Facebook advertising and I hate it. I want to get off it. I want to be organic like people like Terilee and yourself. What would you say to those people in that addicted to ads position?
Well, if you're ready to go into rehab on your addiction, I think it's important to begin to build relationships. And the one thing we have to know about relationships is relationships take time, right? Relationships take time. It's not an instantaneous, boom, I meet you and suddenly I'm referring you everything I have. They do take time. So weaning yourself off the ads, allowing the relationships to build. You have to put your time into the relationships also, right? So the one thing is, I don't ask anybody to do anything I don't do. And so like I'm a member of several networking organizations. I think it's important. I think it's super important in the scheme of, we can network by ourselves, but usually organizations have a lot of features and benefits that they offer. It's totally worth. And the other thing is, I think that networking with people who have some skin in the game. Yep. I think networking with people who have skin in the game is super important. You're on the same page, you're investing in your business. And so I think it's time, if you want to go into rehab on your addiction to the ads, begin building some relationships, especially with power partners.
I wasn't completely addicted to Facebook ads, but before I went to LinkedIn and took off there, the problem, I was spending some days $100 a day on Facebook ads, right? Mm-hmm. And whilst I was making money out of it, I equally hated it. And it was funny. And before we met, I originally took off and Meetup. So the things that got my business going were business chambers, which I'll come back to. I want to ask you about them. I got a few problems there, right? Business chambers, and there's some problems there, which I'll come back to. And of course, Meetup, which is to this day is awesome. And obviously LinkedIn, right? It was pretty much the business chambers, Meetup and organic LinkedIn that got me out of that painful cycle. And I tell you what, and you're spot on, when you've got those networks, when everyone knows you and loves you, it's just so much, it's not just more profitable, but life becomes a lot more fun, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. There are those like you and I that we enjoy some fun, and not everyone would join networking for the fun, but yet it is enjoyable when you have these relationships with the people you do life and business with them, right? Mm. Some of these people that are your referral partners may end up being some of your best friends also, right? It is, and that journey of being and growing your business alongside each other over time, that's so powerful, right? And not everyone can understand that out in life.
Mm. What a funny note talking about that. So when I met Lassie, I was running a business networking breakfast, and Lassie came in, and Lassie totally is my thing. So I was checking her out, and then I found out afterwards she thought I was cute too. And eventually we connected on Facebook.
There's a lot of hookups happening at your events, Ed.
Yeah, I just saw Lassie, and by then, by the time I met Lassie, I was done dating. I was just purely looking for marriage and kids, right? And anyway, it was funny. So I started talking to Lassie over Facebook, and we just met up one day. Then we talked about kids on first date. That's how quickly it moves. And so I met Lassie through networking. There you go. She was the hot Asian chick I was checking out while I was running a business breakfast in the city.
Yep, I'm seeing all the hookups at your meetings. I'm now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our meetings, and so our meetings took a rather sin and debaucherous turn this year actually, which I think is absolutely hilarious. And what would happen is every day I'd wake up. I'd run a networking event Tuesday night, right?
Yep.
At one of the Novotel bars, everyone would get drunk and all that. And basically the next day I'd wake up to all these cool, funny messages, right? Like sometimes people would pass. It was literally like, it's like a frat house. Like I had people, one person passed out. They had to call the ambulance to check him out. A bunch of people hooked up. It was just legendary. A bunch of people would go to bars all night. It was just crazy, the stuff they got up to.
Goodness. So lockdown has made them behave a little bit.
Yeah, but now our events are becoming more businessy. So they're going to be Friday 2:30 p.m. So there's going to be, I don't know if there'll be less or more sin and debauchery. I'm not sure yet. But I want to ask you, and I know you're very close to this topic. I was actually talking to a new community member this morning, just before I jumped on this live with you. Business chambers. Now, business chambers, and I'm gonna upset a lot. Actually, I'm not gonna. I think most people are going to agree with me. I'm sort of speaking the open secret. But I used to love business chambers, right? Mm-hmm. I was even the MC at one of Australia's top chambers, right? Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, globally, the business chambers, not all, but a lot of them, have done such a poor job during COVID. And I say this a tragedy. I'm saying this with sorrow. I'm just telling you the truth. What happened to the business chambers? All the business chambers I know did nothing during COVID. All they did was just do the odd email. I ran more networking events than the biggest chamber in Australia. I did. And I love your reaction. I'm appalled. And a lot of people are very appalled too. I'm not the only one who's noticed this. What are your thoughts on that, Terilee? I know you're right into this topic.
With all the compassion in the world, I noticed my main entrenchment to keep a pulse on that would be a certain area in Southern California, and I say so lovingly, I'm not sure they were equipped to go online temporarily, and it's not their thing. It's not their thing, right? And so I believe they did the best they could at the time. The question is, like I'm looking at now for that area. What is happening now? Like what is happening now, right? So that is the question. That is the question: is what will happen now, and what will they do with it? But yes, no, I just think they weren't equipped. I think that's possibly what it is, and it is sad because the businesses that must do business locally, I'm sure they suffered. I'm sure they needed the support. And
that's the problem I've got. This is because I'll give you an example. My networking events, and again, ours are more social, right? They're not yours. Yours is the high value referral networking. Our events are free, right? They're more social events. Let's meet up, right? Meetup's a free sort of environment, totally different to the referral high value stuff you do, right? And I kept getting this feedback over and over again. Ed, I'm a member of this business chamber. I'm paying them all their money. Your events are better and your events are free and more frequent. And I actually spoke to a few of my friends at the business chamber because I like them. I'm not their enemy, right? Even though they've done some bad things to me, I don't consider them my enemy, but they've done some bad things to me. I actually spoke to a few of my friends that I consider reasonable and said, what the hell are you guys doing? And what they said was they just weren't in the mindset. No one top down was supporting networking. And I think that's a real disservice because if I'm part of a business chamber, my business is dependent on paying their fees and they stop the business networking, that's a real disservice to your members. And I've got a problem with that.
It is one of the most important things, right? Yeah. And I think that I would just say at this point, they can't change the past. None of us can change what we did during COVID. None of us, right? We did what we did during COVID, like it's over. Just kidding. In the past, up to today, none of us can change what we've done. We can only change what we've done going forward. And, initially when everything went lockdown, I immediately started holding for that specific area I'm speaking of, I wanted to do online mixers. I mean, I had already been in the online networking world for 2 years because so I was ready. I said, let's do it. And I wanted to bring in and host one week with a chamber and host 1 week with another organization, host 1 week with another organization. They weren't ready for it. And I initially reached out. And then when I didn't reach out again, and perhaps 6 months in, I should have. Perhaps 6 months I should have said, right. 6 months.
I'm going to pin that one on them, not you. I'm pinning that one on them, right?
Yeah. So, but they just, you know what?
So
I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew where to go.
Okay. So I think I interpret it as laziness, and I think I'm possibly incorrect. So you're not saying it's laziness. You're saying they don't really get it. They weren't able to adapt. That's more your vibe.
I don't think it's anything they ever expected. And yes, that's my vibe.
Gotcha.
Yep. I don't think, just in the beginning when this happened, I found myself offering to even teach people how to get on Zoom. That's how people didn't even know. Right. Yeah. So, I think let's watch what happens. I wish them all the best. Just like I have the great respect for Ed puts me on these topics here on live anyway, but just like thanks so much. No, just like I have great respect for the Singaporeans and we have the red carpet come to our events online. We want to see you. I have great respect for the chambers, and so all the best to all of you as things begin to open up. May you support all your local businesses in the best way possible, and help bring them out of what has happened. Some people have grown during this time, others have shut their doors. So let's all, you and I included, and other people that serve the online community, let's do everything we can. Yes.
One quick mention, Don Amir's watching. Big wave to Don Amir on LinkedIn. We love you, Don. If you just come in, like, share, and comment. But I couldn't agree with you more because I couldn't agree with your sentiment more. I think you're spot on. I love the business chambers. And I love your reframe of that one. I really hope the business chambers prove me wrong right now. And I hope they do a good job by their members because local businesses need the chamber. So if anyone from the chambers are watching, and I want to make this point clear, my criticism doesn't come from a place of hostility. It comes from a place of love and frustration, right? So I couldn't agree with you more. And I suppose, and back to you, I want to bring this back to you. This is a testament to you, because whilst a lot of these organizations were sitting on their hands with going, oh, what's happening? You were busy pumping out Zooms taking over the world. And I think you're following doubled over the past year? Like, you've been killing it, Terilee.
Oh, no, it tripled over the last year. But the thing about it is,
it tripled.
No, okay. No. Double's good too. The thing is, today in October of 2021, we're celebrating our third anniversary of launching the online meeting. So the thing about Terilee was sitting around waiting for you all to join me in the online networking world. And in October 2020, boom, there you were. But you know what happened, Ed? You know what happened.
Yeah.
March 2020, third week, I went from no competition basically to all the competition in the world, right? But here's what I believe. I believe in plenty. And I believe that some people will come in and see what my organization offers and be like, this is my new networking home. And other people will be like, oh, this isn't for me. And that's okay. There's something for everyone. So no, I wasn't paralyzed. I had all my foundation laid and I was ready to go.
You were the antithesis of paralyzed. You were I
was so excited.
You're injecting yourself
with
adrenaline every day, going,
I woke up,
network.
Yes. Yeah, I woke up every day and I'm like, this is great. So because pre-COVID.
We're actually catching up shortly next week when we can. One of our very good friends, Mario Beckers, you know him in the community, right? Mario Beckers, very top local influencer. Interestingly, he's made this point to me, and this goes for you as well, right? I think he makes this point in relation to me, but I make the same complimentary point to you, is that yes and no. So where I spiritually agree with you, but where I maybe disagree with you on the detail is I don't think that many people have gone online. And this sounds weird coming from me, but I don't think that many. Okay, a lot of people jumped on Zoom and did stuff here and there, but no one did the full-on Terilee consistent strategy of it. Some people did, but I think a lot of people, what Mario says was this, and I think I can stick this to you. Let's stick this point on you, is that a lot of people dabbled in it, but very few people stuck to it the way you did. And I say that with absolute admiration for you.
I think that could be. I think many people did it temporarily as a Band-Aid, and some of them will stay. There's definitely a lot more competition now than there was, right? Yeah. But yes, not everyone stayed. Not everyone. Yeah. Yes, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay if they don't stay. No, I'm just using. No,
Zoom's crap. Everyone, don't do Zooms. They're just terrible.
It's terrible. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Zoom's awful. Don't do it. Networking. No one's into networking. Just do something else.
No. You know, it's one of the things for me, because I've been networking a long time, right? 15 years. It's my business, right? It's for all these years. Yeah,
absolute
and so. For me, I was so used to networking, as everyone was really till March 2020, locally, right? Pretty much. You network locally, you do the things locally. The gift that I've been able to see I could see for many years now, like national networking, like a national Australia, national US. What I couldn't see, Ed, was the people in the UK asking to meet North Americans. I couldn't see it, right? I couldn't see South Africa wants to meet the UK. I couldn't see that Australia wants to meet the UK. Australia wants to meet North America, that the Canadians want to meet the US. Watching that all unfold and helping to facilitate that for me has been like, if I was on fire and found it a joy before, it's stunning. I love it. And also to begin to work out all the kinks of what you really need to do to make that work, right? Because not all of it is easy peasy, right? There are certain things that must be worked out, and some of the things didn't work, honestly, when you go to network in such a way. But I'm on fire and passionate about the next few years, what it will bring, and the difference it will make in people's lives. You know, when I came to Singapore, you asked about growing networking in Singapore. You know, the one thing was when we arrived, we came for my husband's job, and I was like, starting over again. You know, and so this time I was determined that when we do leave Singapore, that I want to like be able to pick up my laptop and go, right? I didn't want to have to start over again after so many years in Singapore. And that's what I've created. That's what I've created. And that's what I've done. And it's exciting. It's exciting. And I'm not the only one that can do it. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say all that because it's, and I absolutely commend you for that. But one thing I do ask though is before you leave Singapore, can you take heaps of cool photos of the place?
You know, we talked about that, and yes, I will. Yes, I will.
I guarantee you, influencer guarantee, if you put up cool photo galleries of Singapore, you're going to get thousands of views and heaps of new followers. I can absolutely guarantee that.
Yes. No. It's totally on my list. It's just that right now, the Delta variant's moving through. So give me a break, guys. But no, you're going to be so excited when I start doing it. I want to get out and enjoy. And that's the thing too, is for all of us, I'm not sure how much we all, depending on where we are and what's happening where we live, we've got to also have balance, right? We've got to also have balance and be able to get out and do the things. Oh, you didn't ask me this. I'm just going to throw this down. Okay, may I? Okay,
please go for it. So
I've been working on my my content calendar for the last quarter of the year, and next week the posts I'm sharing are all about navigating working across multiple time zones.
Ooh,
so because many of us want to do that, right? And many of us are starting to do that. Many of us have done it, but just even like what's worked for my family, because it's a family affair when you're not working 8 to 5. It's a family affair, right? How do you handle that and have the spouse, have your partner be okay? You know, how do you recover from being up half the night if you choose? You have to be up all night, and so for me, that's going to be what I'm discussing next week. I'm so excited. I haven't planned out by quarter before, Ed. You've inspired me, motivated me, and I'm super excited to offer some great value.
Yeah. It's funny, and thank you. And you know me, I'm motivational, but I'm also a guy who asks real difficult questions. That's my job.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. And that's one thing that I absolutely admire about you, and is where I really look up to you, is that, I mean, you were clearly ahead of your time, and obviously time's caught up to you. COVID, brought times up to Terilee, right? And I got to say, it's amazing what you've done. And I was just going to say as well, and we were talking about this off camera, tell us a bit about your global network. How can people, of course, people can talk to you on LinkedIn. How do people get into your global network? How does the business side of Terilee work? If someone wants to get coached by you or join your global network, please tell us everything.
Oh, thanks for asking. My global network, you can find out more information at vteamnetwork.com. I'll put it here in the comments. But we do offer global referral chapters, some of the formal ones that you're used to, with a kinder, gentler twist. You can join our community also and not be tied to a weekly meeting. So don't think, if you're one of those people that says, I don't like the weekly meeting, you don't have to do that to join. The one thing we do is we host what we call global gatherings on the first and third Thursday of the month. They vary in time, so we can accommodate the world. All the details on the latest global gatherings are at vteamgathering.com. This meeting that we're going to have on Friday, Melbourne, Sydney time, Friday morning, is all about follow-up. I love to make our topics. We'll do an hour of global online networking, and our members speak. So we have a panel on follow-up. I love to make topics that are pertinent to the business owner community, right? What do we suffer more than with our follow-up, right?
Yeah.
If we can nail
Yep.
that glue, that puts, no, you're good at it. If we can nail that glue that you're on it, that holds our networking together, we'll reach our goals. So you can always message me and say, hey, tell me more about your networking. And I'd be happy to help you, or you can go to V Team Network to check it out. And then my passion, Ed, is so many people with their networking, we don't learn it in school. We're winging it, and winging it gets us wing it results, right? So we're not prepared in our pitch. We're not prepared to ask for something in a big way in our pitch. And if we would just do that, we would be able to reach our goals faster. We're not asking in a big way. We're not working on power partners like we talked about earlier. And so I love to work. I do group boot camps, and I also work one-on-one and do VIP sessions with people to help them. So if anyone's interested in what that might look like, go to bookterilee.com. I'd be happy to spend a little bit of time with you, and we can chat about your networking and see if there's anything I could do to support you.
So, guys, so just as a clarification, so people can come join your global network, and they can network with people, be it locally or globally, to achieve their business. Plus, they can get you as their networking mentor to help them improve their networking experience.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. That sounds really, really good. And I got to say, I love where you're going. Thank you for taking all my difficult questions. I know you can handle it.
Hey, what am I supposed to say? No, thank you.
Yeah, my fans, it's funny, actually, I get this feedback a lot. My fans love it when I ask difficult questions. They want to hear the difficult stuff.
It was all for you guys. All for you guys.
And we guys love you. Also, too, we'll have to get you to speak at one of our upcoming networking Zooms. So I know you're busy with your own, but we'll get you sort you as a speaker. But I want to say a big thank you. And to our fans across the world, please like, share, and comment. You're probably watching the recording of this. If you're watching the recording of this, just send Terilee a connection request and just say that you've watched it here. And just, I want to touch on one topic, if you don't mind me digging there. Now, the Supergirl cape over your left shoulder, right? You don't mind if I dig there a little bit?
Dig, go ahead. This is better than the other digs you've probably done, but go ahead.
Now, I love, and again, we've spoken off camera. I know what you've been through. Did you want to talk about the Supergirl cape and give some empowering advice to anyone that's watching, especially women that might be watching?
I can. And thanks for asking about that. I think that we all have things we want to do in the world. We want to serve others, maybe teach others our method, right? We all have our things that we want to bring to the world. And a lot of times we don't, for whatever reason. Maybe we don't love ourselves. Maybe we aren't confident enough, right? So part of what I believe is that we have to be the hero in our own life first before we can go out and save the world. And so my Supergirl cape has multiple aspects in my life, but it travels the world. It'll come to Sydney with me. It will be in Sydney. Oh yeah, it goes everywhere.
Influencer idea. Can I share it with you?
So I'm going to take pictures in Sydney with a cape, right?
The Singapore shots, it's all you and the Supergirl cape all across Singapore. There you go.
Oh, good.
So your influencer shots are a mixture of, here's Singapore. I know nothing about Singapore. Here's Singapore Harbour. Here's this great building. And the other one is you wearing the cape doing cool stuff like that all across Singapore. What do you think of that?
Oh, no, I'm in. And the cape goes everywhere. But the one thing that I've come to know for everyone in business is that if we don't do our own work, if we don't work on ourselves, we will never reach our goals. Like I would always self-sabotage myself before I worked on myself, right? Always, right?
I've done that.
Taking the time, getting a coach, getting a mentor, even some of us, depending, may want counseling. I mean, whatever it looks like for you, work on the things, take care of you, because without that, you have nothing. I think what Ed's referring to with the cape also is just, I talk about how all of us, we never know what people are going through. And 3 years ago, I was told I was dying soon. I have a huge mass on my liver and they thought it was cancer. And when you are facing your own mortality, you really look at your life and what's important. And the truth is at that point, the business that I thought I loved so much and was so important to me didn't matter at all, right? All that really mattered was God and my family, right? When it all comes down to what's important, right? But I would initially when I was waiting on tests and seeing what was going on, because obviously I'm still here 3 years later, right? Yeah. But I would wear the Supergirl cape to the doctors here in Singapore. I don't wear it now. I have to tell you, I believe the true heroes, if I could hand out capes, I still go to the cancer center for blood tests often. And if I could go hand out, I don't know that they'd wear them. They think, I think that my Singaporean friends at the hospital, I think they think it's a little too much. But if I could hand out capes, they're the heroes, the people that are fighting for their life. They're the heroes, right? But the thing is, we don't know on the Zooms that we get on. We don't know in our LinkedIn connections what the heck people are going through. So let's have compassion for them. When we ask, how are you doing? You know, let's wholeheartedly mean it and listen, because we just don't know. So we all can be the heroes of our own life. And if anyone else wants to get a cape, I wouldn't be mad at you.
Oh, it's incredible. It's funny, actually. So I suppose, firstly, you and I both experienced our own mortality and faced death in the face. So there you go. So I can say Terilee cannot be killed. So there you go.
Well, not so far.
Terilee stared Lady Death in the face and slapped her hard and told her to leave you alone.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. I wake up every day. I'm grateful that I have the life and grateful that I have the health to do work that I love. And that's the thing also, when you think about the online world, like it's just so many years, I got up super early and drove across Southern California freaking traffic, okay, to get to meetings.
Bad. I heard that's pretty, it's like Sydney bad. It's pretty evil.
I've not been to Sydney yet to see it, but someday I'll tell you, yes, it is. I'll be in the car with you, right? And I'll be like, yes, this is bad. So the stress I've alleviated in my life by being able to commute across the hallway and open up my laptop has been huge. So I think that's part of why I'm able to do what I'm able to do.
Terilee, it's incredible. Terilee, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Before you go, closing final thought to you. What's your final thought you want to leave with our fans across the world?
Oh my gosh, everyone. My mantra when it comes to networking is let's cheer each other on and help each other grow. And if we would all just do that, right? Get out of our own way, get out of people's way, and just do what we can to support people, help everyone grow. The business world would be a much better place. So Ed, as we go on for our day, let's cheer each other on and help ech other grow.
Hear for Terilee. Thank you, Terilee. Thank you, everyone. Stay awesome.
Thank you.